want to go back to dinking down the line for a second so we really start to take it the next step further. And when you're dinking, a lot of times when we get into playing, everybody thinks, especially coming from tennis, oh, I'm just going to hit hard, or I'm just going to dink because that's it. That's all pickleball is. It's just dinking. But there's so much more to that. There's so much more to where to dink, why to dink, and how to dink. So what I want everybody to think about is cutting the kitchen in half. And the deeper half is called the aggressive zone. And the half closest to the net is called your defensive zone. And when you're dinking, what you want to think of is when an opponent is putting pressure on you, you always want to dink in the defensive zone. So I know if I can hit that ball high, so say he's putting pressure, and I put that ball high in the defensive zone, it doesn't matter how hard he hits it. If he winds up, it's going in the net or it's going out, because you can't effectively take a ball from here and kill it. When I can take a defensive ball, an offensive ball, and go defensive, I've now officially reset the point. But what I'm trying to do by taking more balls out of the air is hit the ball in the offensive zone over there. If I can be offensive, I can make him pop the ball up. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to dink deep in the offensive zone. I'm pushing that ball deep, which is forcing him to break his posture and pop the ball up. But if my opponent hits deep, I'm going to then go in the defensive zone. I'm going to keep resetting. So it's here every time. I'm resetting that ball short. And this is a great drill that everybody can do. He's going to go offensive for right now, and I'm going to be defensive the whole time. So what I'm doing is constantly just resetting that ball short. It doesn't matter how hard he hits, I'm always just going to reset it. Every time. Notice my posture is still there. I'm not moving my feet. My wrist is locked. Contact point is in front. And what I'm basically doing is neutralizing the point. It doesn't matter how good your opponent is. If you can neutralize that point, he can't attack you, and eventually he's going to miss that ball deeper in the net. And you could switch the drill where he's now being defensive and I'm trying to create that offense. Notice when I'm being offensive though, how long my stroke is. It's not on and off. It's 1, 2, 3. I'm pushing the ball out to my target. As I'm doing that, the tip of my paddle is always in front of my wrist. That's important. The minute that paddle gets behind my wrist, I'm using my wrist. I'm now dragging. So you want to be guiding that ball out. So it'll look like this. I'm pushing it deep. As you're being aggressive, you want to take as many balls out of the air as you can. I'm pushing it deep every time. Pushing it deep. Every time. Pushing him all the way deep every time. And eventually when you get the high ball, you're able to put it away. So when we're dinking, we want to think about two things when we're trying to be aggressive. One is knowing when to attack and when to neutralize. And two, it's making sure that we're constantly on our toes, able to take that ball in the air. If somebody's applying pressure to you, you could step back and put it in the defensive zone, always one step, or you can do the smarter thing and take it in the air. By taking it in the air, I could take one step and I can cover my whole half of the court. See, in pickleball, you want to cover your half of your half, meaning you want to cover the middle of half the court. It's not like tennis where we're shifting back and forth. You're always one step away from where you need to be. So think about the next time you're dinking where you're hitting the ball and why.